The initial state of the universe must have been very carefully chosen indeed if the hot Big Bang model was correct right back to the beginning of time. It would be very difficult to explain why the universe should have begun in just this way, except as the act of a God who intended to create beings like us. Stephen Hawking, reflecting on the origins of the universe. What are the chances that our universe was formed by random physical processes? Researchers highlight that the current structure of the universe depended on an extremely delicate equilibrium of several finely tuned physical constants. First, let's start with gravitational attraction. This had to perfectly counterbalance the universe's rate of expansion to allow for the formation of structures. Next is the ratio of gravitational force to electromagnetic force. A slight alteration in this ratio would result in stars forming as either white dwarfs or blue giants, neither of which could sustain complex life. How about the electrical charge of electrons? A minor variation in this charge would mean stars couldn't burn hydrogen and helium, nor would they explode to scatter heavy elements across the cosmos. Another important constant is the strong nuclear force. If this force were marginally weaker, heavy elements wouldn't form. If stronger, all hydrogen would be transformed into other elements, leaving no water and no stellar fuel. Another consideration is the formulation of carbon. Stars can produce carbon from helium because the carbon nucleus possesses very specific spin and resonance energy values. Lastly, initial entropy. Although entropy in the universe continues to rise, it started from a particularly low point with an extraordinarily improbable initial value of 1 in 10 to the 123rd power. This number, astoundingly vast, has more zeros than there are protons and neutrons in the universe. For carbon-based life like ours to exist, around 26 such physical properties had to align with extremely precise and highly unlikely values. Moreover, for every billion pairs of matter-antimatter particles that annihilate each other, there is one extra matter particle, a phenomenon scientists are still trying to understand. How this imbalance occurred continues to remain a mystery. So, what theories have scientists come up with to explain these precise physical constants? What about the theory of an infinite number of universes? The multiverse? Some scientists suggest that to sidestep the notion of a designed universe, there could be an infinite number of universes, each governed by different physical laws. Under this theory, it's conceivable that our universe emerged by chance, equipped with the precise characteristics needed for human life. However, this theory is not without its issues. Paul Davies, one of the world's most acclaimed physicists, comments, "It flies in the face of Occam's razor by introducing vast, indeed infinite, complexity to explain the regularities of just one universe." I find this blunderbuss approach to explain the specialness of our universe scientifically questionable. According to Occam's razor, the simplest explanation, requiring the fewest assumptions, is generally preferred. The multiverse concept is also criticized for being untestable, as it does not yield verifiable predictions. Physicist Peter Voigt notes, maybe we really live in a multiverse of different possible universes. But this way of thinking about physics does not seem to lead to any falsifiable predictions, and so is one that physicists have traditionally considered to be unscientific. Cosmologist George Ellis, who has worked with Stephen Hawking, critiques the idea for its theoretical nature, suggesting that actual existing universes would still need to operate under specific laws and likely have a shared causal connection. Additionally, even if our universe is part of an infinite inflationary process, the origin of this sequence would still necessitate an explanation. Applying the concept of infinity to physical situations presents significant challenges. Mathematician David Hilbert famously stated, "The infinite is nowhere to be found in reality." George Ellis and his colleagues have also raised concerns about the idea of an infinite collection of universes, questioning its ability to address the problem of origins. They argue, can there really be an infinite set of really existing universes? We suggest that on the basis of well-known philosophical arguments, the answer is no. The general belief in this possibility stems from an underestimation of the issues tied to this profoundly difficult concept. Many universes in the collection might themselves have infinite spatial extent and contain an infinite amount of matter, leading to paradoxical conclusions. The phrase "everything that can exist" exists encompasses such an infinitude but ignores the severe difficulties it implies. Ellis also notes, existence of the hypothesized ensemble remains a matter of faith rather than proof. Moreover, it merely pushes back the question of causation. Ultimate questions remain. Moreover, the popular notion that infinity makes anything possible is problematic. For instance, the hypothetical scenario of monkeys typing infinitely suggests they would eventually reproduce any given text. However, with 50 keys available, the probability of correctly typing even a single, specific 5-letter word is 1/50th times 1/50th times 1/50th times 1/50th times 1/50th, equaling a probable chance of 1 in 312,500,000. Given the exceedingly low probability of random occurrences, the question arises about the likelihood that all of the universe's necessary physical constants emerged by chance. This improbability has led some scientists to contend that random processes alone are insufficient to explain the universe's fine-tuning. Here are some perspectives from some of the world's leading scientists. Paul Davies mentions, there is powerful evidence that there is something going on behind it all. It seems as though somebody has fine-tuned nature's numbers to make the universe. The impression of design is overwhelming. He also states, I belong to the group of scientists who do not subscribe to a conventional religion, but nevertheless deny that the universe is a purposeless accident. Physicist Wilczek suggests it is logically possible that parameters determined uniquely by abstract theoretical principles just happen to exhibit all the apparent fine-tunings required to produce, by a lucky coincidence, a universe containing complex condensed structures. But that, I think, really strains credulity. Hoyle, an atheist astrophysicist, observed, a common-sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a superintellect has monkeyed with physics, as well as with chemistry and biology, and that there are no blind forces worth speaking about in nature. Freeman Dyson reflects, the more I examine the universe and study the details of its architecture, the more evidence I find that the universe in some sense must have known we were coming. Allan Sandage, a prominent cosmologist who converted to Christianity, argued, the world is too complicated in all its parts and interconnections to be due to chance alone. Atheist professor of astronomy George Greenstein admitted the challenge of attributing fine-tuning to mere chance. The more I read, the more I became convinced that such coincidences could hardly have happened by chance. As we survey all the evidence, the thought insistently arises that some supernatural agency, or rather, agency, must be involved. However, he also expressed a strong rejection of these implications. As this conviction grew, something else grew as well. It was intense revulsion, and at times it was almost physical in nature. I will have nothing to do with it. My conviction is that the world obeys laws, the laws of nature, and that nothing can ever occur that stands outside those laws. In light of these considerations, it is neither intellectually weak, scientifically ignorant, nor logically unsound to contemplate the possibility of a guiding intelligence orchestrating the physical laws of the universe. So what did you think of our video? What are your thoughts on the obvious fine-tuning of the universe? Let us know down in the comment section, and if you enjoyed the video, we would appreciate you leaving us a like and a share. And as always, subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. Continue to sharpen your swords of knowledge so that you will always be ready to defend the hope that you have within you. See you on the next video, and God bless.